Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of the 3-part series on Moonology. So this is our first book club book and we're going through Moonology by Yasmin Boland. And we've already gone through the first couple of chapters which spoke about what the moon means and how to create your new moon wishes. And this time we're going to discuss chapter 4 and 5, which talks about the new moon in the zodiac signs, and so what it means in particular zodiac signs. And then the chapter 5 is how to predict your future, where it discusses how to find out what house the sign is according to your birth chart, which I'll show an example of my birth chart so that you guys can get an idea. And because I'm new to this as well, so I was like, I don't quite understand. But when I printed and downloaded my own birth chart, I was able to follow the book quite easily. So I will get into that soon. So starting with chapter 4, it's about when the new moon is in the zodiac signs. And I thought I would actually cover the next new moon. So the next new moon is going to be on the 10th of September. And it's going to be in Virgo. So if I look at that app that I have on my phone, and how cool is this? The Apple Watch, oh, you can't see it over there. The Apple Watch has a moon wallpaper, so you can see what phase the moon is in. So I thought that was pretty cool. Okay, so the app that you get on your phone is called Full Moon app. So when you open it, it looks like this. And right now is actually the full moon. So today is the full moon. Or yesterday was the full moon. Yesterday was the full moon. And it was in Pisces. Or did it move? So yesterday was a full moon and it was in Aquarius, which is my birth sign. But I haven't gotten to the full moon part of the book yet, so I couldn't follow through with the full moon section. So I think I'll probably do next month's full moon. I will focus on when I get to the full moon part of this book. Okay, so that being said, so today is the 27th of August and I am in New South Wales, Australia. And excuse me, by the time you guys get these videos, or by the time these videos go live, we will be end of September or October. So these are going to be a little bit, I wouldn't say outdated. It's explaining the previous moons, but it gives you a very practical example still on how to use this book properly. And it will help you with whatever moon is going to come up for you whenever. Okay, so the next new moon, so I'm just going in here, the next new moon is going to be on the 10th of September, and it says that it's going to be in Virgo. So I'm sorry that's back to front, but it's going to be in Virgo all day, and that's on September the 10th. So that's my September the 10th, so just check your time zone. It could be a little bit different, but if you look for the full moon app or hashtag full moon app, you will be able to find that app which tells you what the moon phases are on any given day. Okay, so to go through chapter 4, I'm going to use the next new moon as an example of how you would follow this part of the book. So the 10th of September is going to be in Virgo, and I said it was page 63. So page 63. So it says, and I'll get this over here. So the new moon or solar eclipse, at least this one is in the right, this camera is positioned the right way. It's between late August and late September, so ours is going to be on the 10th of September. And it says to take inventory, be of service, be healthy, avoid nitpicking, get organized, and then that's just the 5 points to focus on during the Virgo new moon. So what they're saying with take inventory, I'll just quickly skim through of this for you guys. I'll remove that. That's my birth chart, which I'm going to get to in a minute. Hide that. There we go. So taking inventory, pay attention to the details, do an inventory of your life. Work out what's working and what isn't. Virgo has a reputation for being picky. Too right. The image for the sign of Virgo recalls the people who once used their powers of discernment, literally, to sort the wheat from the chaff, back in the days of people-skilled agriculture. So use the energies this month to think about where in your life you need to make changes and pay particular attention to your daily routines. So taking inventory. So if I have to think what's going to be happening for me in September, all of this is happening. So I'm changing my old ways of teaching into something completely different. It's almost like a career change in a sense. And it's a lot of big changes. So I feel for me, I would have to pay attention to the details. So I not linger too much on the old. I found that a lot of my old things are still coming up, and then I have to let go of them. Today I was lucky, I did my final tutorial for my old way of working, and now I can put 100% of my attention into my new style of working. So that's something I think maybe what it's saying to me. And then also to take inventory of what I've got now and how I'm going to use this to my advantage for the future work that I want to be doing. So, for example, I've got some books for the book club. I've got some art supplies that I want to do for the dream art and stuff. And I guess just think it through, which I have been doing very much so the last couple of weeks. And I think maybe September is going to be like the final call for those details before it actually goes live and gets started. Okay, the next one is be of service. If you're on the New Age path, you'll have heard teachers reminding us all that the best work is when we're of service to others. Virgo is all about being of service, so use this month to consider whether you are being of service to others. Think about what's going on at work, especially. How can you help other people? Service with a smile will attract karmic brownie points, and easing a colleague's workload or offering to pick up someone's kid after school. It's the little things. So I guess it's reminding us to be kind and do what we can for others, especially if it's no hair off our backs, to make that extra little bit of effort for someone else. The third one is to be healthy. Virgo has a strong alternative health theme. The new moon in Virgo is a wonderful time to think about your diet and your daily habits. Much has been written about the importance of morning and evening routines, so how do yours look? Virgo is a fine habit former, so start some beneficial routines, new routines this month, be it morning or evening yoga, daily meditations, nutrient-packed breakfast smoothies, earlier nights, or whatever. So, and see how long you can keep them going. So I think that's a good one to remember at any time, I think. But I guess that new moon is going to be a great one to really focus that, and probably brings that energy out of everybody. Avoid nitpicking. Oh my God, I do this so much. It's almost like I can create the perfect schedule of events to do, but then I am constantly redoing my schedule and making a perfect schedule, but I'm not actually doing the work that's a part of the schedule, because I keep nitpicking the details of something that can change in any given day. So that's something that I know I need to work on. So are you being too critical? Use the new moon in undeniably picky Virgo to assess this. Love and criticism, for example, don't go together, so make sure you haven't allowed yourself to get into the habit of finding flaws in the people you love. Don't do it to yourself either. Doing your best is one thing, but perfectionism is another. Don't be too hard on yourself. Do as you would be done by. A very Virgo way to be. That's very, very true. It's so easy for us. Like me, I automatically just thought about myself. What does nitpicking mean to myself? But reading this again, it just made me realize that it's easy to even get like that with other people around you. So sometimes you just have to remind yourself to not be overcritical. Because I reckon when you get overcritical and very pedantic about exact details of what you want, occurring in your day or your life causes anxiety. For me, it does. Like when I feel like there's something important coming up and I put too much attention into it, or I just overthink things, I just get more anxious and I don't enjoy it as much. So sometimes it's just better to let it be and enjoy. And then finally, the fifth one is to get organized. Virgo is like the part of us that's together. In other words, the part that's organized and punctual. Catch up with paying bills, filing paperwork, and tidying up when the new moon is in Virgo. So that's pretty self-explanatory, and I think that is good. And yeah, we're pretty much at that point now where we just get so many bills all at the same time. We've got the insurances, we've got the house bills, we've got all that sort of stuff which needs to be paid. And it's weird how we always end up starting something at the same time of the year, which means that by the time the next year arrives, we've got all those payments to make at the same time. So anyways, that's us. So that is what chapter 4 is about, and that gives you an idea. So if you know what zodiac sign the moon is going to be in, then you can go ahead and look for it in the book, and then it can give you an idea of what to think about, or what extra things you may need to focus on when you create your new moon wishes. Which I didn't think about at all when I created my new moon wishes, because I didn't get to that part of the book, which is okay, because my new moon wishes are very, very strong wishes in itself, and those are the wishes that I wanted. And I actually didn't go back to check what the new moon was at the time that I made those wishes. So that would be interesting to go back and see how my new moon wishes may correlate in terms of feeling or in generalness with this chapter of the book. Okay, chapter 5. I enjoyed this very much. This was a really fun part. So it says it's called Predict Your Future, and the star sign or rising sign or sun sign is the zodiac sign that you are born into. Now, when you create your birth chart, there's more than just the date that you were born that you need to that's important. It's also the place where you were born and the time that you were born. So the date, place, and time, exact time that you were born, all correlate with how accurate your birth chart is. And then once you create your birth chart, it's easy for you to be able to see how the moon affects your chart, or what house the moon is in your chart, and how you can predict it a little easier for your life specifically, because everyone is going to be different. Unless someone is born at the exact same place at the exact same time, it's your chart's going to be different. Even a couple of minutes later will make your chart different. So I thought that was quite interesting. It really shows how unique each person's chart can be. Okay, so if you go to allstarastrologers.com, I will put a link in here for you guys. So the book tells you, let's go to page 112. Go to the beginning of the chapter. Sorry, that's just my dog. So the website that I have on here is www.allstarastrologers.com, and it is in the book somewhere, but I didn't note the page that you can find it on. And then you put in your place of birth, your name, your birth time, your location, and yes, that's it. Just your name, your birth date, your location, and the time that you were born. And then it will automatically get a chart like this. So this chart looks pretty and cool, but like, how do you possibly understand it? I don't know. So the book will explain to you how it works, but in general, you get 2 pages. So you'll get this one, which is your birth chart, and then you'll get this one, which we will use now, which tells you which house a certain planet is within your birth chart. So because I was born in Aquarius, the sun is always going to be the zodiac sign that you were born. Pisces, my second house. So if you are born in a different zodiac, then you will have different house numbers for all the different zodiacs. So there you go. I've got a little bug flying around. So the next new moon is going to be in Virgo. So Virgo on my chart is my 8th house. So that's what's important for this part. So Virgo in my chart is my 8th house. And that is on page 112. So the way it looks here, so in this chapter, so it says here, new moon or solar eclipse in your 8th house. So this is going to be different for everybody. But Virgo is my 8th house, and that is how I come to this page. So in Virgo, when the Virgo new moon appears, this is going to be a great way for me to focus on what I need to focus on for that month, starting from the new moon in Virgo. So I will tell you what it says for me. So it's all about other people's money and how it comes and how it combines with yours. And what to expect: a change to inject newness into your finances or your sex life. What to wish for: more money, better sex, and to overcome fear. What to visualize: what would you do if you had more cash? Visualize that. I'll let you take care of the sex-based visualization. So this is really funny because when it talks about other people's money and how it combines with yours, and also a change to inject newness into your finances and your sex life, it's like, okay, by the time this video goes live, it will be okay for me to say this because everybody will know. But in 3 days, I'm getting married. So I think that's so funny. By the time the next new moon comes up, I will be married. And that is already a symbol of that combination, of that joining of two people. So that includes finances and that includes your sex life. And because with marriage, and I know that I'm at a point where I would really like to start trying for kids. So this to me is just another thing that says, okay, well, it's happening. You have that symbol of marriage that's going to happen within your life. And then once that's there, you know that the rest is coming. And I thought that was quite significant. And I started laughing when I read this. I thought that was so funny. So yes, what to visualize: what would you do if you had more cash? Yeah, we read that. An idea to keep in mind: now is the time to attend your cash setup and see how good you feel about it. Are you confident that you're on track? Can you meet the goals you know you have ahead of you? And if not, is there something you can do now about that? Now, this has actually been something that's been playing on my mind because I've gotten to this point now where I am changing my channel, I'm changing my website, I'm changing the whole thing. I'm changing the way I get my income at the moment might be affected when I make these changes, because what if my current subscribers don't like the changes and they leave? So would I be losing, or would I be gaining enough subscribers to make up for the rest? So that's sort of something that's been going in and out of my mind. And I feel like this is saying that I just need to keep that in mind. So I'll be keeping track of that. But I'm also not letting that stop me from progressing in what I actually want to do. So I'm not going to let the fear of having money or not having money affect what I want to do. I am, in fact, manifesting it to be much different. It's going to be stronger, and I'm going to gain more subscribers than what I will be losing. So having that idea very strongly within my mind I know that it's going to progress very well. I also know, however, though, that we've got family visiting, we've got a holiday coming up, and Vinny is considering moving to another job, but it unfortunately pays less. And for all of this to be happening at this time is quite profound, because it just goes to show that it is something that we're going to have to keep our eye out on for a little while until things move on and we can get back to, you know, where we were. So that was quite interesting. So I know that I'm talking about my chart and my 8th house for this example, but this is what chapter 4 is about. So this is how you are going to use it. So from your birth chart, you are going to look at where the next new moon is going to be, and then you're going to look at where that moon, or which zodiac sign that moon's going to be, and then you're going to find out where that zodiac is in your chart, which house that zodiac sign is. Once you know that, then you can refer back to this book, and it can give you a better example, or a more in-depth example of how to start planning for that month, the energies that are going to come up for that month. And for me, the energies that are going to come up are going to be about finances and sex. So messages: this is a great time to seek financial advice or do a weekend business seminar to help you better understand the financial basics. So I don't feel like I need to do that, but I do feel like I need to still keep an eye out for my spending and the changes that we know are going to come up, and the fact that we're taking extra leave for the time that the family is visiting and stuff. So that means that we're not making money, we will be losing money. So it's just something that we need to keep track on, and it's just for that month. I don't feel like this is a long-term thing, it's just a temporary thing, but it's so funny that it's going to happen at this time. A meditation booster: recite the following sentence before you start your regular meditation. I tackle my cash problems head on, is what it says. The ritual: go out on town wearing the sexiest outfit you have in your wardrobe. So I think that's more for singles, but yeah, we won't get into that with my personal life, but I'm sure I'll keep it interesting. Things to do: pay off a loan or take one out, open a savings account and make your first deposit. So yes, that sort of things. Talk dirty to your partner, try a new sexual position. So all those sorts of things. Top 3 affirmations: repeat one or all 3 daily during the new moon and in the coming 4 weeks. I am taken care of materially. All my finances needs are being met, and my sex life is so wonderfully healthy. So those are really great affirmations. And then it even has an essential oil. So myrrh is the essential oil for me for that time. Helps us to become open to receiving gifts. As you use it, confirm that you're ready to receive. And I think that's quite beautiful as well, because, you know, we had a point in our lives where we want to start a family. So that's quite nice, and you're open to receive. Numerological energy: 8 is the number of financial abundance and security. It's also the number of karma. We reap what we sow. Because the 8th house is in part, oh my gosh, I can't read. Because the 8th house is in part about joint finances, it's about being honest in our dealings. This month reflects on what you are and aren't prepared to do for cash, and this is also a very spiritual number. And then there's still more. So we got a mantra, we've got a 3D chakra, a 5D chakra, the guiding archangel for that moon. So for this one, it is Jeremiel, is one of the 7 core archangels. His main role is to help newly crossed over souls review their lives. Jeremiel supports and guides people who have recently passed as they review how their every action affects others and what they learned during their lifetime. But you don't have to wait until you've crossed over to have a life review with Jeremiel, as this archangel will help living people to take an inventory of their lives. All you have to do is ask for his help in this regard. He is fearless. That's so cool. I like that he helps newly crossed over souls, which to me I could think of that in both ways. And I don't know if it's baby brain talking, but I feel like helping new crossed over souls, so it could even help, you know, the if the pregnancy is going to happen, it can help that soul, or whatever the case may be. I like to not think of, so when ideas pop into my mind, like that one, for example, I don't get specific about whether I'm right or wrong. I just go by what I'm feeling. And if it's a thought that I like, then I indulge in it. I'm not going to stop myself from thinking something because according to someone else or something else, it might be wrong way to think. So don't be afraid to think what you want to think. The guiding goddess. So facing up to what scares us is a big part of the cycle, and Kali, the blue Hindu goddess with a scary face, aggressive stance, and skulls, is the one to help us in this regard. Ask Kali to help you release negative people from your life, limiting thoughts, or any fears. So there's another thing I just said. Don't create those limiting thoughts. If you feel like something's right or feels good to you, then indulge in that. And if you feel like you're thinking of something you don't want to think about, then cancel it out and stop thinking about it. You don't have to indulge into the thoughts of fear. Kali helps us to step away from our ego. She's also known as the goddess who liberates our souls from the otherwise endless cycle of birth and death. Oh my God. Universal law. So this month, the law of perpetual transmutation of energy reminds us that we all have the power to change the conditions of our lives. We just need to push through our fear and limiting thoughts, in particular negative thoughts directed at ourselves or others. Raise your vibration through yoga, chanting, and meditation. Higher vibrations transform lower ones. Pure sexual energy is a great transmuter. And then the heavenly ray. The 8th ray, which is a sea foam or green aquamarine in color, is governed by Lady Nala. Oh my God! You know what's so funny? So green aquamarine, and I only just thought of this now. So I have my little altar here. So this is with my new moon wishes. And I did an artwork, an intuitive artwork with a pregnant woman and a tree of life. And the colors are green and aquamarine. Oh my God. Kulin, if you see this, you got to comment on that. That's crazy. And I did that 2 months ago. Almost 2 months ago I already did that artwork. That's amazing. And that pregnant girl wasn't even supposed to be in that image. It was just supposed to be the tree. And then when I put the figure there, what I wanted was actually just a figure and a scarf blowing in the wind. But I had dropped ink on the belly area, and there's no way I could have removed it because it was a dark ink. So the only way I could make that image still work was to make her look pregnant. So it just happened to work out that way, which I thought was beautiful. It brings a deep spiritual cleansing that allows our souls to evolve. This works so well with the 8th house, which is a part of our chart where we may keep what we feel is unclean about ourselves. Healing and cleansing is required to raise our vibration, and the 8th ray is made up of rays 4, 7, and 5 with a touch of white light. So how cool was that? So that's it. So that's how it works. And then the next one's going to be about the full moon, which is about forgiveness and gratitude, which we'll get to in the next part of this. But so we've gotten through more than half of the book, which talks about the new moon and then talks about the zodiac signs, and then how you can use your own personal chart to work out how to best plan your month according to the new moon. And then, yeah, that's crazy. Isn't that amazing? Oh my God, I feel good. That's so profound. To you, it may not seem like much, but to me, it's quite a beautiful thing. And I love discovering these sorts of things and these new ideas. So that's the gist of what we went to today. So the chapter 4 was about where the new moon is within the month, which zodiac sign it's in, and overall what that zodiac sign means when it's in the new moon. But to get even more specific about it, would be great if you can get your birth chart, download it, follow the instructions in the book, but I'll also put a link to it in the description under this video so that you can go straight there and download your own birth chart and print your own birth chart. So like I said, you get 2 sheets which look like this. So you get one sheet, and then it tells you it shows you the symbols in that. So it just is a bunch of symbols, which is a bit harder to understand. And then you've got the next page, which tells you which house that's in. So you don't really need this first page to be able to use this book. The second page will tell you which house it's in. But if you can understand this chart a bit more, which Yasmin has another book called Astrology, and it's funny because I actually read bits of that book before I even knew about Moonology, and only halfway through Moonology did I realize that she was also the author of that book. So that was funny. But the book Astrology goes through all of this in detail, and I got that book for free somewhere, just a PDF version of it. I'll see if I can find that again and if it's still available for free, and then I will also put that in the details below. And that's if you want to get more involved in your chart and how it works specifically, what all these symbols mean. And yeah, so something I still want to find out about mine, this is a little bit irrelevant to Moonology, is I have so many of my planets in Capricorn, which I want to find out why. They all just huddled up there in one bunch. They're all in Capricorn. So Capricorn must be an exciting or important zodiac sign for me, and I should probably read about Capricorn. So Capricorn is my 11th house. So read about that, what the 11th house is for me, and then I can find out more about that. And then my moon is in Aries, which is quite interesting. So, and then it tells you what element it's in. So Aquarius is an air sign, even though it's, you think Aquarius is water, it's not, it's an air sign. Pisces is water, Aries is fire, Taurus is earth, Gemini is air, Cancer is water, Leo is fire, Virgo is earth, Libra is air, Scorpio is water, Sagittarius is fire, and Capricorn is earth. So I'm wondering if I'm more earthly than airy in a way, because I have so many of my planets in Capricorn, which I think will be interesting. Maybe that's a book we can do one day down the line, or something extra you can do in addition to the Moonology book. I'm not sure. But anyway, so that is it for all of that, and I thank you guys so much for tuning in. That's part 2. The next one is going to be part 3, which we go into the full moon, and the next full moon is on the 25th of September. So I will be able to, my mother leaves on the 23rd of September, and the 25th of September is going to be the full moon. So that would probably be a great time. Maybe I can do this video on the next full moon, and also give a little bit more focus on how the full moon is affecting me within that time. So yeah. Oh, and also I've booked the date for our book club hangout. So the first one is going to be with a small number of people, just because I want to be able to do this before I actually go live. So I've got some family and close friends that are going to be a part of the book club, and that's booked in for the 29th of September. And we're all going to get together in a Zoom meeting, and we are going to discuss the book together. And by that time, hopefully you guys have read the book and gone through all of that yourselves. Okay, and that's it. Hopefully the dogs don't bark. So I'll see you guys next time. Love you guys. Bye.